Hey guys, this is Shannon with Nearly Organic Noshing, and it is Saturday here. The weather is nice, it's breezy and cool, perfect weather for being outside. And this is my garden space. Chris just came in here with a tractor and mowed all the weeds and stuff down. I had the pig in here, and all the cardboard that I had buried below loads of mulch he dug up. But that's okay. It'll break down. His little house and stuff is still in here. But what I'm gonna do is, since Chris just came in here and mowed really well and turned all of this over, is I have the gates open like this with a section of fencing right here. And the dogs are out, we're outside, and I'm gonna let the chickens they can come out of their little run. I still have them locked in their run, so they can come out here, and then I'm gonna herd them into this field so that they can come out here and eat all the bugs and weeds and anything else that have all been churned up out here. And I'm gonna set them up a couple of little temporary shelters to run underneath with just some tires and some of those pallets over there, so if they feel the need to get underneath something, because this is pretty open and we do get hawks and owls. But I'll have the dogs out here and we'll be outside, so I'm just gonna let them come in here and enjoy eating some bugs to their little heart's content, because we're gonna be back and forth out here today. So I just took and opened both gates, and then took a section of my cattle panel stuff here and kind of just wedged it in the ground. And I'm gonna get bungees once I'm out of here and bungee it from the outside so it doesn't fall over. But the two gates kind of make a little passage, and I'm gonna bring them over here. All right, guys, I'll bring you along on my day as we continue just a regular weekend around here. Chickens aren't so smart. They're following my my corn trail to get them over here. Trying to convince them that it is not horrible over here and they need to come over here and try it out. So they're slowly working their way over here. Jaden is out working, flattening out some of the garden area, and the chickens are getting bolder on inching their way over there. My high-tech setup here for fencing and a gate. So they can just go over there and eat bugs and just kind of have a little bit of a different space for a little while today. That's my rescue rooster. Picked him up as a chick off the side of the road, along with this little brown one right here, and the little gray one right here, and the other one that was a rooster, he went away. I sent him to a friend of mine because he was just so mean. But I ended up keeping this one. He's gonna have a chance to be a nice rooster, and if he's not a nice rooster, he'll go away also. So this is the first rooster we've ever had. We've always just had hens and really liked it that way, and we would not have purposely gotten a rooster, but when I rescued him, I didn't know what was what, and we ended up with 2 roosters and 2 hens. So he's really big, and so far he seems to be okay. So he can stay for now, and we'll see how he works out. I'm actually going to be going to raised beds in part of the garden this year. This was an old chest freezer that we helped a friend out to get it off their porch and stuff. It had died during the hurricane, so one of the things I'm going to have Jaden do today is to take the lid off, and I'm going to probably use the lid as a potting table out in the garden, and then I'm going to have him take the bottom off and remove the compressor and any of the cords and stuff from it. I'm also going to turn this refrigerator over here. It's an old refrigerator that we picked up from a customer. Jaden again is going to go back, remove all the cords and hoses and stuff from the back, remove the metal. All the metal heavy stuff is going to go in our metal pile, and we'll take that once we have a full trailer. And he's going to take the doors and stuff off. That'll go in the metal pile. And then this is going to be a raised bed also. And then we have some IBC totes that Chris is going to cut in half for me, and I'm going to turn those into raised beds. And those are going to be, all of the beds are going to be like wicking hugelkultur beds. That's at least my goal. I have lots of wood back over here, and up under the oak trees I have tons of oak logs that have broken down into practically compost already, and I'm going to get a bunch of those and break them up and put those in the beds and just layer them up. Everything I've read about how to do the layering, and I'm going to put the water spigots in, and I'll take you guys along as I set the beds up. And then we're debating on going to Gainesville and picking up a truckload of composted mulch and soil, or if we're just going to go buy bags of it, because the issue with my garden area is it's very sandy, and we live on a hill, and every bit of the nutrients and stuff that I dump into the garden just wicks away and washes away. So I have been just dumping manure and nitrogen and everything to it, and it's just gone. So, and it holds no moisture, which is great because we don't flood here. But I tried the Back to Eden, and I had layers and layers. I mean, I had like probably a foot deep of mulch out here at one time, and all it bred was fire ants and termites and different kinds of weird fungus and stuff like that, and I was constantly in fire ant beds. So what we're going to do is raised beds up near the front. I think I'll have a little bit more control over what goes in the soil and the nutrients in the soil. And then in the back, I'm going to still till that up and turn it into anything that needs more space, vining things like pumpkins or watermelons. I don't love the watermelons that we've grown here. They just haven't had great flavor and have had lots of seeds, but the chickens and the dogs love them. So I'll of course plant more pumpkins and more watermelons, and it mainly goes to animal feed because we just haven't really liked the flavor of them. So that's what the plan is out here, and hopefully we'll get it a bit more organized and get a method that works well for us. But for now, I'm just going to use what I have on hand, which are the freezers, the fridges. I still have back here, I still have washer and dryer drums, which those work really great because they have all the holes in them. They never hold too much water, and they're self-draining, so I use those for carrots and potatoes, things that need some real depth. And I have an asparagus bed, and so I'm going to essentially try and concentrate on things that my family really loves this year and that I know they will eat, because I'm tired of growing things and then I'm the only one that eats them. So I'm going to concentrate more on things that I know that they'll like cucumbers and tomatoes and strawberries and berries, you know, things like that. Some okra, but I'm going to try and keep it more family happy food. So we'll see how it goes. So we have a bunch of household chores going on today. Right now, Chris is servicing the generator before we go back to camp.
He weathered the storm pretty good. Yeah. You know, he made it through it okay. He made some great use. He sure did. Yeah. He sure did. That was a great line.
Chris is heading out to go help a friend of ours finish leveling out some property so that he can get his shed hooked up. So he won't be here for the rest of the afternoon. Gonna get it, Macy. Gonna get it. Macy. Muggsy? Muggsy, are you looking up? Muggsy, where's the birds? Muggsy, where's the birds? Look up. Look out for those hawks. Do you see any? Are you looking? Look for those mean old birds. Good boy. Okay guys, I have my dehydrator full. I just went ahead and pulled gallon bags of a few things out. I have blackberries and 2 of them. Let's see, blueberry, cranberry, and I did sprinkle some sugar on the cranberries so that we can use them in salads and stuff. And then 3 of corn. This is corn that I picked and put up in the freezer last year. And I had cut it off and had shucked it all. I still have a ton that's unshucked and a ton that's shucked. So I have a lot of corn in the freezer. I brought way too much corn and put it up last year. So I'm going to start dehydrating it. It'll take up less space because my goal is to empty out the freezer some before we start bringing in produce from the garden. So I'm going to go ahead and get the lid on this and dinner should be just about ready. Hey guys, it is Sunday and the dehydrator has been going since last night, and I took a peek at it about 7:30 this morning, and the corn was about done then. So the corn is ready to get put up. The cranberries still have a ways to go. Blueberries are getting close. Blackberries are getting close. A couple more hours and that fruit will be ready to get out, and the cranberries will be the only thing left. But I'm going to go ahead and pull the corn right now and get it into a jar. Okay, this is 3 quarts. I had quart bags in the freezer, freezer bags, slap full, as much as I could put into them. And I thought this jar looked just about, it's not a mason jar, it's just a glass jar that I had kept. I'm not exactly sure of the size, but I thought it would fit 3 quarts, and it did, literally to the top. And I scrounged around and I had 1 lid that actually fit this. So I'm gonna put this up in the cabinet with the rest of my dried goods in the kitchen, and then I can use it in soups or to throw in with some vegetables or something like that. And I'm telling you, this corn is so good. I could sit here and just eat it dried like this out of the jar. Absolutely delicious. If you've never put it on the top of a salad, that's really good, or like a baked potato. Sprinkle just a little bit of the dried corn on top of a baked potato. Kind of like what you would do with bacon bits. Super, super good. So I'm gonna get this up and spread the trays out in the dehydrator just a little bit, and I already have some meat defrosting that in a couple of hours I'm gonna slice up and put it in a marinade, so that by the time the fruit is done, I'll be ready to go ahead and put my meat in there to make some beef jerky. Alright guys, we'll continue on with our Sunday. Okay guys, I took 2 shoulder roasts and sliced them up really thin while they were still partially frozen. Unfortunately, our electric knife died. Brand new, I just bought it for Chris like a year ago, and it's dead, it won't work. So I just had to sharpen a blade and cut all of this up. And this is all the fat and bone and stuff like that. There is a lot of good meat on here, but the issue is this is some grass-fed beef that a friend of ours had butchered. He butchered a few cows, and all of the meat that we got has a very metallic, just funky taste to it. I don't know, the burger is not good. It's all become dog food. I cook it up for the dogs. It's very fatty. It's like the butcher blended fat into the hamburger to bulk it up or something. It's just not good. So anything we do with the beef, I have to like really marinate it and try and get as much fat off of it and soak it a couple of times to do anything with it. So this is the second soak of ice water that it's in, and I'll probably do 2 more rinses before I put it on marinade. So, and then this stuff I'm going to cook up. The big obvious massive chunks of fat I'll take out and toss, but the rest of this I'm going to cook up and drain off the fat and let it cook down, and then I'll give this to the dogs as dog food in with some of their healthy kibble that I get them, some of their no grains, no filler corn stuff food. So I'll throw some of this stuff in with it. But Chris and I already went and picked up our splitter. We co-own a wood splitter with a friend of ours that they have a barbecue business, and that's what they do. So they had the splitter at their place, so we just went and picked it up along with a load of pine. They cut down a bunch of pine trees, and we're going to be going to camp in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to go out and split a bunch of wood while Chris is working on the tractor, once I get this marinade. Okay guys, I have rinsed the beef jerky really well and squeezed out the excess water that was in the jerky so that it'll be able to absorb some marinade. And I had 2 marinades in the pantry that I had pulled out, and when I opened them, neither of them really smelled like they would make great beef jerky marinades. They were both given to us as gifts because people know we cook out a lot and stuff like that, but they just didn't smell like they would be great. One of them seems like it'd make a great grape dressing, and the other one would be more, I don't know, like a rib dip or something, I don't know, but not great for beef jerky. Beef jerky, we like it to be sweet with a little bit of spicy. So I just went back to my basic ingredients and I just make stuff up. I don't even really measure. I just dump stuff in a bowl until it looks right to me. So I have some molasses and brown sugar, Worcestershire, a little bit of just steak sauce, some soy sauce, some liquid smoke. I have some garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of ginger, red pepper flakes, salt, and pepper. So I am just going to dump all this in a bowl until I get a consistency and a flavor that I like. And then I am going to coat all the meat, stick it in the fridge, and let it marinate until I get back. I'm going to run Jane to work and go run a couple of errands and then come back and start splitting wood. And by the time I'm done with all that, tonight I should be able to put the beef jerky on the dehydrator and just let it dehydrate all night. So I'm going to go ahead and just get this going. Okay, Chris is my taste tester as I mix up marinades or sauces or salsa or whatever. I take it in there and say, taste, taste, tell me if it needs anything. So I ended up adding this. My mom had gotten me some of this for my birthday last year, garlic, chili, olive oil, and that's what mainly the oil base is in here to help it cling a little better. I tasted it when I first opened it and it had no heat at all, and I thought, I can't even taste the chili. And then about 3 seconds later, my mouth was on fire. So added some of that in, and not too much. And then I added a little bit of, let me see, some sesame oil and a splash of olive oil, just regular olive oil in here. Those are my oil bases just to make it kind of cling a little. And then I'm gonna go ahead and clean up and get this in the fridge to let it marinate a little bit more. And then I'll get this on tonight, so it will be really, really good. Okay, it is 4:30. I'm back from the store. I still have not managed to get out and start actually splitting any wood, but it is pouring down rain, so we'll see if that's going to end up happening today. Laundry is going. What's in these pint jars are each 1 gallon of fresh fruit. So there is almost a gallon, probably 3/4 of a gallon, because I dipped out of them some. One is blueberries, one is blackberries, and then I moved the 2 bags of cranberries to the top. You see there's a little bit of sugar in there. It was all clumping together, so the cranberries need a little bit of sweetness added to them if they're going to go on top of salads or something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reuse these. I'm not even going to bother washing them because it's just from the blackberries and the blueberries, and go ahead and lay my meat out. The cranberries are at the top, so there's no chance of having any meat juice dripped on them, but I'm going to go ahead and get the meat going and get it into the dehydrator. So today is a day of inside projects. This is something that Chris and I have needed to do for a while, but it takes 2 people. We have our giant big screen TV over there, huge. Way too big for us in my opinion, but you know, guys, it's never too big. So we have the TV up here, and the way Chris did it is he ran the cables. I hate cords. I despise seeing cords. So the way he did it is in the wall is this PVC, and inside the wall going this way is PVC pipes. And he can fish cords through there. So He needs to rehook up some other wires, and so he's going to feed those through there. And then he wants to move this out a little bit further from the wall. So he's going to mount some more pieces of wood up there because it's hard to get your hand behind it if you need to disconnect anything. So he's just going to put it out from the wall a little bit further, and then we'll also be able to tilt it down towards the couches. So once it's all up there and everything is connected again, you don't see any of these cords. He just shoves them all back down into the pipe and out of sight. If anybody else hates cords as much as I do, this is a solution that Chris came up with, and I will let him explain it to you as to how it works.
Well, here, shine the,
All right.
I don't know if there's light. I put an 1.25" electrical PVC through the studs over to where the stereo is so I can pass the wires back and forth. And had it come out right where the center channel speaker is located, right below the TV. So this way I can just, once I fish the wire through, which I did here, this way I can just run it out through there, and then I've got this as just a finished plate where all the wires feed through, and then it'll come in behind the television. I'm going to make all my connections, and everything will be hidden. Just like that, and that screws on, and then any excess wire can just get shoved in and tucked into the wall.
Okay. And then he made this recess right here, so none of the cords from the components are visible. And it all feeds into this big jumble of wires here in the closet. He knows what they all go to. I don't, but he does. So everything is in here, tucked away once the door's shut.
What are you doing?
Filming you. These are the wooden pieces he just quickly painted black so that it'll blend in with the back of the television, and we're not going to see them from the side. It'll just look black. The ones that he has up there already, he painted the blue, the same color as the wall. So we're hoping that the black will just blend in and we won't even notice it's there. And if you're wondering why he's wearing gloves to do this, it's because I really wanted the wood painted. And it's wet outside, so he went ahead and just painted it black. It's still a little tacky, and so he doesn't get black all over his hands. He's just wearing gloves to go ahead and get these guys mounted up here. Okay guys, our Sunday evening continues. I have this whole container full of more meat that I have trimmed up and sliced thin, and it is in a marinade. I already have the cranberry sauce out of the canner. I have the cranberry blueberry sauce in. It has another 14 minutes. And check on this. Cranberries are getting there slowly, and the beef jerky is about where I can take this beef jerky off. It's done really, really well. I'm going to let the others marinate for a little bit longer since I just put it in there. It needs to be in the marinade for at least an hour before I put it in, so I'll be taking this off really soon. So it's about ready. So I'm going to get this stuff out. Some of these thicker pieces are going to need to stay on. Some of the thinner ones, they're about ready to come out. So I'm going to go ahead and let this go probably for another hour and add the rest of it, and then take out what needs to be taken out and leave in some of the thick pieces. I have actually this chuck steak. It's soaking in water. This is the 4th bowl of water that it's soaking in to get the blood out. The butcher just did not do a good job at hanging the meat and getting all of the really bleeding it out well and stuff. So to be able to eat it, you really have to soak it, rinse it, soak it, rinse it, soak it, rinse it, and then marinate it so that it is good. If not, it's just all you taste is a metallic blood. So this has got one more in, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut the fat away from it. That's why I have the cutting board and knife here that's already dirty. And I'm going to start doing a little bit of kitchen cleanup, start another load of laundry, and it is 10 till 10. So my goal is to be in bed by midnight. Hey guys, since I already have the meat cut up and my kitchen is a disaster, I figure before I clean the kitchen, I might as well go ahead and prep dinner for Monday night. So I've already cut all that meat. This was that chuck steak, and I've cut it off the bone and put the bone in the freezer later for some beef stock. And I pulled out bell pepper, an onion, mushrooms, and I've used this seasoning before. It's salt and pepper thyme. I got this in the Bahamas, so trying to use up some more of this. And then I pulled this out of Chris's grilling cabinet. It's just some Everglades rub. It looks like it was ingredients that would complement some pepper steak. So that's essentially what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna go ahead and chop it all up and put the marinade in and put it in a bowl, shake it up, put it in the fridge. So when I get home from work tomorrow, all I have to do is make some rice and make the pepper steak, and then I'll make some vegetables to go with it, probably a salad, maybe some carrots, we'll just see. So I figure I'll go ahead and get this done. I'm waiting for the canner to come down off pressure so I can get the ham bone going in there, and that can just cook all night. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this chopped, and hopefully by the time I'm done with this, the canner will be off pressure. I can get the ham started, and then I can clean the kitchen. Okay guys, I went ahead and just mixed this in my big cast iron ceramic pot. So this is what I'm going to cook it in tomorrow. So I'll just go ahead and put the lid on it and put it in the fridge so I can just grab it and set it right on the stove tomorrow and cook it. So everything is all mixed up in here. This will be really, really good tomorrow. Once it started cooking down a little bit, I'll put in some fresh garlic. I don't want to put that in now because sometimes it has a tendency to burn, and burned garlic does not taste good. So it's just all mixed in, including a little bit of olive oil. I coated the bottom of the pan with a little olive oil. It'll all drip to the bottom and then congeal there once it's in the refrigerator, and then it'll warm up when it's on the stove tomorrow, and then I'll just be able to cook everything. So this is a nice head start for tomorrow. And like I said, I'll just have to make some rice and a side salad, or maybe some carrots or something. I'm not sure. This is not exactly what I planned on making for Monday, but since I was already messing with beef, I figured what the heck, and we've not had anything like this in a while. So this is what we're going to be having for Monday. All right, it looks like my cans are almost off pressure, so I'll be able to get those out of the canner and continue on with my evening. Okay guys, this is what I ended up with. Sorry I already put it in here. It's still pretty hot, but these four are the cranberry blueberry. Everything else is just the regular cranberry sauce. So tomorrow when they cool down, I'll check them and get them labeled and in the pantry. Okay guys, it is almost 11:30. I have the ham and beans in the slow cooker. I did it a little bit different. When I pulled the ham bone out, I looked, and there was still enough meat that I could take a small knife and cut a bunch of little pieces off. So I just went ahead and did that, and I have the ham bone in a bag in the fridge to make ham stock out of tomorrow. So I have that cooking. The cranberry sauce and the cranberry blueberry sauce is cooling down, and I will check it tomorrow, and then I'll get everything labeled once they're wiped down. I have one batch of the beef jerky out, and it is super good. I like doing it thicker like this. I don't like it bone dry. It still has a little bit of fat and a little bit of moisture to it, so that will be really good to snack on, especially for Chris. He's trying to low carb, so that'll be a good snack. I have let's see, I think 4 trays. Yeah. So this is what I took the other meat and turned it into, all those are beef jerky. The last couple up here are still cranberries, and they're still working their way, taking forever. And I did go through and puncture all of them, so it would be easier for them to cook. I have all of my fruit put away, and my corn, all of that is in here. My corn, my blueberries, my blackberries. So all of that is put up, and I did a little bit of reorganization in my cabinets. My sink is clear, kind of. All of that is clean. I'm just letting it drip dry, and I will deal with that tomorrow. I've already done the floors, and I'm gonna have to do something with eggs tomorrow. I think I'm gonna call a few of my neighbors and see if they would like some. If not, I think I'm gonna start trying to water glass them, which I may still end up doing. I saw that on, I wanna say Homestead Family. So I'm gonna do a little bit more research on that, because the chickens are doing really, really well, and I think I would like to try that. So this is where we're at right now. I said I wanted to be in bed by midnight. All the animals are taken care of. Everybody else is in bed for the night, and I have to be up at 6. So I think I'm gonna go hit the shower and call it a night. I hope everyone else is having a wonderful evening on their homestead. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and definitely comment if there's anything you want to know about in the comment section. All right, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday evening.